Welcome to Sweethearts or Rivals. My name is Charla, and this is Justin.
Hey!
And today we're going to be talking a little bit about a game called Euphoria, Build a Better Dystopia.
Euphoria!
Euphoria. Also too about our channel, we're a husband and wife who love to play games together. And since we have so many games that we love,
Yep.
we wanted to just put our voices out there about our games, what we like about them, and why we play them.
Yep.
And why we just have so much goofy fun playing games together.
Absolutely.
So a little bit about Euphoria before we get into the how you play and a little bit of gameplay.
Yep.
This was a Kickstarter by Stonemaier Games. Jamie Stegmaier and Alan Stone are the designers. It plays 2 to 6, ages 13 and up. It takes about 60 minutes, which we just played a game on Twitch, and it was an hour.
Yep.
That's a 2-player game.
Yeah.
And it was designed last year, 2013.
Excellent.
Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Excellent. So on to the gameplay and how to play Euphoria.
We'll be right back.
Enjoy. What we have here today is Euphoria set up for a 2-player game. I'm also first going to mention that we have the Kickstarter version, so there's a few differences in our version than the retail version. The resource pieces, they're made of a more realistic component, so the gold is really shiny. It's actually a lot heavier each piece than the other pieces. Nice, good thud on the board.
Oh, yeah.
The clay is actually textured and it's made of some kind of resin, so it looks like a clay piece.
Yep.
And then the silver is a similar kind of material, and it's like a little blob of silver.
It's very shiny and smooth.
Shiny and smooth.
Yep.
The other difference that would be we have more of these, I think.
Yep, we have more commodities.
We have wooden stars instead of cardboard stars.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have some more of the markets, I think, than what comes in the retail. So we have all these to choose from.
Yep.
I guess it doesn't matter. I can show you like what some of them look like. And then I think that's it. I'm not sure.
Yep, that's basically all we have improved over the retail version.
And we have it, like I said, set up for a 2-player game. So we have our commodities set out. Our resources are set out. We randomized what we chose for markets.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a 2-player, we cover up all the little pieces here, but two spots. And we set our knowledge at the level. It starts at 3 each time. And our morale is set at 1. And the morale is actually our hand size.
Mm-hmm.
The knowledge will influence how many workers we're able to have on the board or in our hand for each round. And I've set out the little miner meeples where they start in their tunnels, and these little trackers as well on the faction tracks.
Yep. In the game, each player starts off with a couple of agents, which you can see by these kinds of cards. And you take a look at them. You start off with one face down. This represents an agent that you kind of have a hook into, but he's still not quite sure if he's going to be joining your cause. And then you start off with one agent, like this guy right here, my guy, who's face up. And he is all for your cause. So you get to access his special ability, and depending on what faction he's a part of, you get to access any of their special abilities. You also start off with 2 workers, which are the dice, and the pips represent their knowledge. So we roll those, and I got an 8.
Mine's high. I got 11.
Yowzers. So that's what we started off with. We also get an artifact card, and we can't have more than one because we start off with a morale of 1, so that's our hand limit of artifact cards. Alright, so the game of Euphoria.
What's the point of the game of Euphoria?
Well, you can't really get much into how to play the game of Euphoria without going into the backstory and the theme, because Euphoria is just completely drenched in the theme, which is one of the amazing things with this game. When you're playing it, you don't feel like you're pushing bits around just to get your stars on the table. You feel like you are hatching this elaborate plot to take over the world of Euphoria. And the backstory is basically this. It's a post-apocalyptic world. There are 4 factions. There is the Euphorian City, and they're all about the power and technology. There are the Subterraneans, and they're kind of heavy into working, and they have access to water. Then out in the wastelands, you have the Wastelanders, and they actually have access to most of the food. And then up in the sky, in their blimps, are the Icarites. And they just have a whole lot of markets, and they have access to the bliss. Now, each of the players is a person who, at a very young age, realized that they were being led around by the masters of these factions, and that basically they were slaves and didn't even realize it. So instead of running away, they decided they were going to stay and use their knowledge to take over. And what we've managed to do is we've managed to get 2 workers on our side and 1 agent on our side.
Who's your agent?
My agent is, let's see if I can get the focus here. My agent is Michael, and he is the engineer. So whenever I place a worker on a construction site, and these are the construction sites here next to these markets, I can use any type of resource I want. But if I use gold, I'm going to gain morale, and I'm going to bring the Euphorian track up 1. So he's a really good starter. He's an engineer. How about yours?
I have Josh the Negotiator.
Josh the Negotiator. See if I can get that to focus in here. There we go. I think that's nice and good and focused. There you go.
So, Josh, when you place a worker on a non-Icarite market that has resources as part of the cost to visit, I may substitute bliss for that resource.
Nice. Once these markets start getting built, that's going to be really powerful.
That's awesome.
Excellent. All right, so how do you win at Euphoria? Well, what you're trying to do is take these nice authority star tokens, and you're trying to place them out on the board. You can place them in territory, and there's territory for each of the factions. There's only 2 places in each faction. The other thing is, if you help build a market, you get to put a star on the market when it's completed. If you can somehow get the track here for your faction all the way to the very end, then you can actually take a star and put it on your agent, because they've gained authority. So there's several different ways that you can get your stars up. Each player starts with 10. Whoever gets all of them out on the board at the same time is the winner. To do that, you have to manage several different aspects of the game. First aspect are the commodities, and these are the wood pieces that are electricity, bliss, food, and water. You can use them to get extra workers. You can use them to build the tunnels and gain access to these awesome resources or more artifacts. And you can use them up here in order to gain pretty much everything. Once you start getting these awesome resources, you can use those to build your markets. And once you start getting access to artifacts, you can use them to place tokens, authority tokens in the Euphorian territory. So you have a lot of different resources at your disposal, and it's all about managing how they're flowing so you can get everything you need. A couple of things you have to keep track of are your morale. The more morale you have, the bigger hand limit you have for artifact cards. You have to keep track of your knowledge. The higher your knowledge, the more chance your workers are going to realize that they are slaves, and then they're going to run away. And you also have to manage the allegiant tracks over in that corner of the board. And there's one for each faction, and as they increase, that faction's going to gain extra abilities. So I'm starting off with a Euphorian agent, so I'm going to probably want to bring this track up fairly quickly. Charlotte's starting off with an Icarite agent, so she's going to want to bring this one up quickly. But all of them are going to slowly creep forward when we use things, and I might be trying to trick Charlotte into using whatever this guy is so that I can uncover him sooner than later. That's basically how you play Euphoria.
So should we play a couple of rounds to give them an idea of gameplay?
Absolutely, because as much as I've given like a decent overview of how to play, you really can't get into Euphoria until you really get into Euphoria.
Yeah, and it was kind of a longer overview, so should we still set the timer for about 10 minutes?
Yeah, we'll still set it. One last thing before we start, and this is one of the really amazing, unique mechanics that Euphoria uses.
Oh, yes.
It is worker placement. You're going to be placing your workers down. And normally in worker placement, you have one of the mechanics there is when you place a worker, say here, you've blocked that spot off from other workers, but not in Euphoria. Euphoria has a couple of spaces here and here and here and here where you can put any number of workers there, but the knowledge that they have gives you different amounts of the commodity. So that's very unique. No blocking there. The other thing, as you'll notice, these here have this kind of dotted line and an arrow. What that means is if I put a worker here and then it's Charlotte's go.
Ooh, and I want to go there. I can just slide him out.
Yep. She can actually just bump me right off and I get my worker back. So that's really great. It means there's no blocking because that can be frustrating, but there's still that choice. Do I want to go there now and give him his guy back for free, or do I want to wait until he vacates the spot later? So still a lot of good, hard choices, but it really knocks that frustration down a lot, which is awesome.
Okay.
Makes it super fun. So we're going to start.
We'll set the timer for about 10 minutes so that we don't get super involved in our game and just play on and on and on.
Yep.
And actually, we do have a full playthrough of the game on Twitch.
Yep.
And we can link a link on the screen, right?
Yeah. As soon as this is up, I'll put a link somewhere on the screen somewhere, and it will link. It'll link to the Twitch video, which I'll also put on YouTube.
Cool. So I have it set for 10.
Yep. 10 minutes.
And should we re-roll or just stick with what we've got?
No, let's stick with our roll. Whoever rolls the highest goes first. So Charlotte's going first.
11.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate because I really, really, really like to advance my track, and I don't think we mentioned how to advance. So if you go on a place that has a little plus like this for my Icarites, I would advance this by 1.
Mm-hmm.
And for other factions, it's like this item. If you have a dice here, 1 to 4. Same with this.
Yep.
Same with this. So looks like I'm not going to be advancing my track right now. I'll eventually want another worker, so why don't I just get some water, because I can get workers and hearts right there.
So you get 1 water, and because it was 6, you're going to lose a knowledge.
Because 6, and that's 5 to 8 right there.
Yep.
So you look on that chart there.
I'm going to put my guy right here. He's got a knowledge of 2, which means I'm going to gain 1 electricity, but I'm actually going to move my track up 1. And this unlocks a special power. So I'm going to just put that here. So anyone with an agent who is Euphorian, like me, who puts a guy here, is going to get 1 extra electricity.
There. So I'm gaining towards getting an extra worker really fast. So I'll put this here. That's 11. So now I'm in the 9+ area. So I get 2 water,
and your
knowledge goes up.
There you go. All right. And I need more electricity, so I'm going to put my guy here as well. 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to get 2 electricity because I get that bonus. And I'm going to lose 1 knowledge.
Now, I don't have any workers left, so my action will be to recall my workers, which is right here.
Yep.
So I don't have any food or bliss, so I would have to lose
One
a
morale.
morale if I had more than one.
Yep.
So I recall my workers. At this point, you roll them again. You add them up. I have 7.
And then you add your
So
knowledge.
7 plus my 3 is 10. So I'm less than 16. I get to keep all my workers.
Yep. All right. I have to do the exact same thing because I don't have any workers left. So I'm going to take my 2 off. I'm going to roll them. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're good. Here you go.
So now I would like some bliss because I am an Icarite. I'll put it there so I can get 1 bliss.
Mhm.
And that, because it's in between 1 and 4, I can put up my dude's working track.
There we go.
So now I've unlocked every time an Icarite goes here, they get 2 bliss as well.
An extra bliss. Nice. All right. What am I going to do next? Well, I'm going to take this 5 here and I'm going to put it on this spot, which costs me 3 electricity. And I get to zap a new worker into existence.
Like Frankenstein.
Which actually brings down their knowledge because, well, I guess you fry their brain a little bit.
Yikes.
So
That's very nice.
It's not nice. And I get a new worker, and I'm going to have
Look at that.
doubles.
You have doubles. That's an interesting point of the game.
Yep.
So the next thing I'm going to do, I will put my worker here. I will pay my 3 water so that I also can get a new dude or dudette. I can gain 2 morale on the heart meter, and I get to roll for a new worker.
Nice.
Can you increase my morale, please?
Yep.
Thank
So morale goes up.
I didn't let you explain about the doubles. I just went on to my turn.
That's right. My turn. So
Okay.
it's my turn.
Perfect.
All right. So I got this new worker last round, and I rolled. So now I have doubles. So the great thing with doubles, it means that I can play them both right now. So I get like a double go, which is awesome. So I'm going to go here. This is going to give me 2 electricity, and it's going to bring my allegiance track up again. And then I can go right here, spend 1 of those electricities, move this minor meeple down the tunnel 1, and then I can either get 1 artifact or 1 gold. Well, my morale's only 1, so I'm going to get the gold. Gold for me.
I would like some bliss, please. 1 plus 4 is 5. So it's still 1, but where I'm an Icarite, I get to have 2.
Yep.
And my knowledge will decrease by 1.
There you go. All right, so all my workers are out on the board, so I'm going to have to take them back. And I would lose morale, but I'm still at 1. So I roll them, and I get 12, 13, so I'm still good.
You're safe. I am going to take my workers back as well. I don't need to increase my hand size, so I'm not going to lose any of my bliss. I'll just take the hit and go down 1.
There you go.
And my total is 6 plus 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus my knowledge is 2, so that's 11.
You're good.
I'm good.
All right, my go. And I have doubles again. Ha 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 ha. That is excellent.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I like it. It's very good. All right, so what am I going to do now? I got to place a 5. I am going to... I'm going to do something dastardly.
Oh no.
I'm going to place this right here.
Oh, you have doubles.
Yep.
Justin.
Now, when you place a worker on a market, there's in a 2-player game, you only need to choose 2 of these to get this market done. So I'm going to actually put here over the brick. I don't have brick, but Michael the engineer allows me to use any type of resource. And if I use gold, I'm going to gain 1 morale, and the Icarite track is going to go up 1. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I can't finish it because I only had the 1 gold, so I'm still going to leave this open up. Charlotte might be able to get in on that market. But I do get to put my other 5 out. And where do I want to put my 5? I want to put my 5 right here. Pay 1 electricity to do that. Minor meeple goes down, tunnel's getting a little bit longer, and I'm going to get another gold. And now it's Charlotte's go.
Okay. I thought for a second there he had both resources to be able to build that and to make me have a penalty for not helping him build the market.
And it's your turn.
And it's my turn. So, what I'm going to do, I really need to get some of these resources.
Mm-hmm.
In order for me to do that, I need to gain at least some of these resources. So I'm going to go, I'll just go here and get water.
Okay.
Because it's useful for other things as well. So that will move this up one.
Yep. All right, and then I'm going to go with my number 2. So I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to spend my gold, which brings my morale up 1 and moves the Icarite market up again.
Oh, look at that.
And just as an aside, my Icarite, the Euphorian track has gotten so powerful that now I get to put this here. Whenever I send a guy here, instead of gold or an artifact, I get both, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
So this market is complete. I get to push my workers off. And I got double 4s. Woohoo! This market gets created, or built, and because I was the only one that helped with it, I get to put one of my authority stars on it. And I have created, or built, the Fountain of Wishful Thinking. So, Charlo may not place more than 1 worker per turn.
So if I get doubles, doesn't matter.
That's right.
Okay.
And this opens up a new spot. If you've got 4 water and a gold, you can put a dude here and get a star out here and bring up the Euphoria.
There you go.
So, I've got one of my stars on the board. I am winning.
You're winning. There's hardly any time left on the 10 minutes.
That's right.
What I'm going to do next, I'm going to go here.
Yep.
And cash in my bliss and my commodity for 2 artifact cards. Now my hand limit's only 2, but I still get to look at these.
Yep.
And see which 2 I want to keep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And there's the buzzer.
Our 10 minutes are up.
Yep.
I was hoping for doubles.
Yes. In this spot here, the incinerator of historical accuracy, you can place a worker and spend 3 artifact cards to put a star either here or here. So that's what Charlotte's trying to do. But whenever you have to spend 3 artifacts, you can also spend doubles.
Which I didn't get doubles. I got a baseball bat and a teddy bear.
Nice.
And there's all kinds to choose from.
Yep. So, just because I'm curious, who was your secret agent?
My secret agent was Flavio the Merchant.
So you had double Icarites.
I did have double Icarites. Because in a 2-player game, if you have double Icarites, you don't have to split your attention between these 2 tracks. You can just really focus on one.
Yeah. I didn't have any doubles, so I ended up with Jonathan the Artist, who is a Wastelander. But he had a really good power. Anyway, that is how Euphoria works, and right now, I'm winning.
You're winning. But I'm wondering if there's anything that didn't happen that we could just explain on how to get a star.
We didn't get any stars in the territories. You do that either through an artifact market or through one of these built markets. And if you get any of the Allegiant tracks up high enough, you can put stars on your agents. If I had gotten the Wastelander track up to this point, I could have flipped my agent over and I would have gained access to a special ability and any other unlockables.
Right, and if we were to get him all the way up to here, you could flip any blue secret agents you would have.
There's a couple of different ways to get extra agents out.
And then what if he had gotten all the way to the end?
Oh, yes. If any of the tunnel meeples get all the way to the end, they unlock this. So basically the theme behind it is the Euphorians want to tunnel down into the subterranean to access the water. You can put a meeple here and get 3 water, which is a lot of water. The Wastelanders want to dig under Euphoria's wall so they can steal the electricity, and the Subterraneans are trying to tunnel up to the Wasteland's fields so they can gain the food. So.
And there's nothing like that for the Icarites.
No, Icarites don't have any tunnels because they're all flying up in the sky.
Right.
Yep.
But anytime that you do one of these actions, it increases your track.
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of like a wild card.
Which I think I might have forgotten to increase my track one time, but that's okay.
All right.
Anyway, I think that gives you a good idea of how the gameplay works, and we'll come back and give you our final thoughts.
All right, thanks. All right, we're back!
I hope you enjoyed that little gameplay and instructional video.
Yep.
Hope it made sense.
Hope so.
We had fun.
Yeah.
We always have fun.
And if you want to see a little bit more of the gameplay, I will be uploading our live Twitch game of Euphoria onto the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and we can put another link. I think we said that when we were playing the game, but we'll put another link right there.
Or right there. Or right there.
Right.
Right there. Right there. Right here. I don't know. There'll be a link.
Silly today.
Silly today. Okay. So, looking at Euphoria, we want to look at the components. A quick note about the components is that we do have the Kickstarter version, which means we have all the upgrades to the components.
Right, and one of the things we forgot to mention about some of the things that are different is the board is two-sided for us.
Yep.
So if I can grab it easily, it seems to be stuck in the box right now. But there's a nice, lovely other side of the board. It's the same, but in different colors.
Yeah.
So, pardon us while I block our faces.
Yep.
There it is.
So most of it is black and white with just some of the areas in color, which Jimmy Stegmeyer said a couple times makes it easier to teach how to play.
It would. Yeah, but the other side is just so pretty.
Yeah. Amazing artwork.
I'm going to flip it.
Yep.
So, components-wise, the artwork is excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Top notch.
Yep. We have some friends who have the
retail version.
Thank you. Retail version. And the components in the retail version are still excellent.
They are.
Yeah, very good wood components. So if you did miss out on the Kickstarter, don't let that stop you from picking up this game.
No.
So components are really, really good. There's lots of them. They fill up the board. Love the components. Strategery. There's a lot going on in the game of Euphoria.
There is.
And because there's so many different paths to victory and management of resources, it can be very tricky to figure out what your opponent's doing. So I love that strategery. Very excellent. And there's not a ton of luck. It's a very, very luckless game, which is excellent. It plays out really well that way. Would you agree?
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, and I really enjoy the part where you can bump workers, because that in itself adds a little bit of strategery to the game too.
Yep.
Because just to know when to leave your worker there or when to bump another worker, it plays a lot into the gameplay.
Yeah, and we're a fan of worker placement games, but there is that, oh, I just put my worker in that one spot that you really needed, so I just blocked you. There's that frustration that comes that's just inherent with worker placement.
I don't think it's the frustration on the person that blocks the person. It's the frustration on the person who gets blocked.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the amazing things that they have done with Euphoria is gotten rid of that. They've kept the strategic in of, that decision, do I bump somebody's worker off or do I leave them there? There's still those decisions, but the frustration has been taken out of it, which is just absolutely amazing.
What's next on our list?
The complexity.
Complexity.
When you first start playing Euphoria, or when you're talking about how to play Euphoria, it seems very complex.
Seems like a lot.
And what it basically boils down to is there's just so many different resources and so many different things you can do with the resources. So you can run into a little bit of that analysis paralysis of what am I going to do? But once you've gone through that first playthrough and you're starting to pick up how everything can move around, that goes away really quickly.
Yeah.
And we did just play a game, and it took it took about an hour, and it was really quick. It was excellent.
Yeah. The only thing, it might be a little complex for someone who's never played a worker placement game before.
Yeah.
So you might want to start them on a little bit easier of a game first and then introduce it to them, because every single person we've introduced this game to, they really did catch on and had a lot of fun with it. They really enjoy it.
Yep. And then the playability. How playable is this?
I think it's playable. It's got excellent playability for sure.
Yeah. Because
since there are so many different ways to win the game, you never feel like you're implementing the same strategic moves over and over again. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be different every time you play the game.
Yeah.
Depending on what buildings come out, what cards you get for your secret agents and whatnot, it's going to change the game each time.
Yeah.
And to another thing that makes it really extra playable, these factions here play similar, but the Icarites, they play totally different than all three.
Yeah.
So depending on who you get for your people, you're going to have a different game each time you play.
Yep. A couple things with the playability. One, there are games out there where the theme isn't integrated that well, and when you're playing, yes, there's some strategy and there's the game, but you feel like you're just pushing bits around a board. With Euphoria, there's none of that. The theme is so amazingly integrated into the game that you feel like you're a mastermind getting your workers to fulfill your plots and your agent powers to help you out. When you get to place one of your authority stars in the territory, you feel like you have earned that power over that faction. So the theme makes this so amazingly playable. I also really love the innovations in worker placement that get rid of that frustration, because that just makes the fun level shoot right up.
Yes, another thing I'll say about the theme, because we do have a role-playing background together, you can't help but come up with these little stories about these little dice. They're not even meeples, but you see them as real individual people as you're playing the game. And just coming up with those little, under the game story, that's kind of fun too.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I guess we have the awesomeness versus the cuteness.
What goes first?
Well, let's start with cuteness.
Well, this game is really cute because the artwork is gorgeous. That always helps me with the cuteness.
Yep.
The bits you have, well, the bits we have, because we have the Kickstarter version, are so realistic. Cute. And also, thank you very much for including purple as a player color.
Yep, purple, very nice.
Pink would have been my choice first, but purple's always my second choice. Thank you.
We might have to see if we can get some special pink ones made up just for you.
We'll try, but I don't know, that'd be
hard. Again, because that theme is so awesome, the gold resources that are heavy and look like gold and have Euphoria imprinted on them.
And they really clunk when
make it really hard for me to want to play any other faction. I really want to be Euphorian and get all that awesome gold. So the game is awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
So, it's that time. Oh, the rating?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Overall, how do you find, what kind of game is it?
Overall, for me, outstanding or more.
Yeah, it is an outstanding game. That's our highest rating. We really enjoy playing it. It plays well with 2. We've played with 4, plays really well with 4, and we had one 6-player game, and that even was an excellent game. All of the people were engaged during the whole game, and actually our friends ended up buying a copy because of playing the game.
Absolutely.
So it's an outstanding game.
Yeah. It wasn't the first Kickstarter game we ever backed, but it was the first one we ever received. And any other Kickstarter that we consider really has to live up to a high standard.
Yes.
Because of Euphoria.
That's true.
Amazing job.
Yeah.
So now it's time.
Now it's time.
Okay. Did we end as sweethearts or rivals? We ended as
sweethearts.
What?
Well, it depends on the game.
Yeah.
If you're really wanting to play in block, yeah, we could be rivals. But I just have such a fun time playing this game with you that I think I always end on a sweetheart note.
Yeah.
It's the fun
I have to agree.
Yeah,
sweethearts.
You were going to say rivals.
I was, just because that last game I got really, really kind of cutthroat with it, but I have to agree, sweethearts.
He beat me too by 4 points, which often, all the other games we played, very close in score. Yeah. He beat me by 4 stars. Yeah. That's quite a bit.
Yeah. It doesn't usually happen. It's another great thing. You're having a lot of fun. The frustration level is really low. Yeah. And usually the games are very, very close, which is fun as well. So, awesome.
Excellent game. Awesome game. Outstanding. Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.